All right, today we are taking a guided tour of what might just be the most complex, most bustling metropolis in the entire universe, the living cell. And look, forget about skyscrapers and subways for a minute. We're talking about a city built from organelles and molecular machinery. And the wildest part? It's all happening inside you, right now.
So, what exactly is a cell? Well, it's the fundamental building block of literally every living thing. And according to what we call cell theory, every single new cell, doesn't matter if it's in a plant, an animal, or you, it has to come from a cell that already existed. It's this incredible, unbroken chain of life that stretches back billions of years.
Now, to really get our heads around how these microscopic units can build everything from a single bacterium to a massive blue whale, we got to change our perspective. We need to stop thinking of them as just simple blobs of jelly and start seeing them for what they really are, these intricate, highly organized, microscopic cities.
And just like in our world, right? Not all cities are built the same. In the biological world, life pretty much has two main blueprints for city planning. And you'll see they are fundamentally different in how they're structured and how complex they are. So on one hand, you've got the prokaryotic cell. Think of this like a simple, super efficient little village. It's smaller, there's no central government building, no nucleus, and its DNA just kind of floats around. But on the other hand, you have the eukaryotic cell. And this thing is a sprawling, complex metropolis. It's got a secure city hall. It has specialized districts and departments that we call organelles.
And since this is the model that built you and me and every other complex organism, we're going to focus our tour on this eukaryotic metropolis. So let's grab our map and start exploring the incredible city that you call home.
You know, every great city has its key infrastructure, right? You've got your government offices, your factories, a post office, power plants, the whole shebang. Well, our cell city is no different. These specialized structures are called organelles, and each and every one has a critical job to do.
Our first stop is right at the city's edge. It's this dynamic, intelligent barrier called the plasma membrane. And let me tell you, this is not just a wall. It's the border control, it's the customs agency, and it's the security force, all rolled into one.
The sophistication of his border is just incredible. It's made of this double layer of fats, a phospholipid bilayer, that makes it what we call selectively permeable. That just means it meticulously vets everything trying to get in or out. It lets some small stuff just float across through diffusion. But for the important cargo, it uses something called active transport, a process that basically requires an energy ticket to get specific materials through these guarded gates.
Okay, passing through customs, let's move toward the center of power, the very heart of our metropolis, the nucleus. This is City Hall. This is the central government building that runs the entire operation.
Now, to protect its most vital information, the nucleus is surrounded by a protective nuclear envelope, which is dotted with pores that act like guarded gates. Inside, the city's master blueprints, all of its DNA, are stored safely away. And deep within all that is the nucleolus, a special little office that produces the components for the city's construction workers, which are called ribosomes. So with the plans sent out from City Hall, the city's industrial sector gets to work. This is where the cell manufactures and ships all the essential goods it needs to function and grow. Let's go see how this production line actually works.
Okay, so the endoplasmic reticulum, or just the ER, is the main factory floor. The rough ER is called that because it's studded with those ribosome workers, and they're busy building proteins. The smooth ER, on the other hand, specializes in making fats or lipids. Now, once these products are made, they're sent over to the Golgi apparatus. Think of the Golgi as a super sophisticated postal service. It sorts, packages, and ships these goods in tiny little membrane-bound parcels called vesicles to make sure they get to their correct destination. Now, any busy city produces a ton of waste, and if you don't manage it, everything just grinds to a halt. Luckily, our cell has a highly effective recycling and waste disposal center to keep things clean and running efficiently.
But this isn't just about throwing out the trash. It's about recycling. The lysosome, which is a specialized little vesicle filled with powerful digestive enzymes, acts as the city's cleanup crew. It safely breaks down all the cellular debris, any foreign invaders, and worn-out organelles, and it recycles their components to be used again. Nothing goes to waste.
But listen, none of this, not the border control, not the government, not the factories or the cleanup, none of it would be possible without a constant supply of energy. And that brings us to what is arguably the most vital part of our tour, the city's power grid.
Everybody meet the mitochondrion. This is the undisputed power plant of the cell. It's in here that the city's fuel, a sugar molecule called glucose, is systematically broken down to create usable energy. This energy gets stored in a molecule called ATP. You can just think of ATP as the cell's rechargeable battery. And this whole incredible process is called cellular respiration.
Now, this process isn't just one simple reaction. It's a highly efficient 4-stage assembly line. It actually starts just outside the power plant, in the cytoplasm, with a step called glycolysis. Then it moves inside the mitochondrion for the preparatory reaction, the citric acid cycle, and then for the grand finale, the electron transport chain. Each step systematically extracts just a little bit more energy.
And the payoff? Oh, the payoff is absolutely incredible. The first two major stages, they only produce a couple of ATP molecules each. But that final step, the electron transport chain, that's the real powerhouse. It generates a whopping 32 ATP. So from just one single molecule of glucose, the cell nets a grand total of 36 ATP molecules. That is an amazing energy return.
Okay, but what happens if the main power source, oxygen, isn't available? What about a power outage? Well, the cell has a backup generator. It can switch over to what's called anaerobic respiration, or fermentation. A great example of this is lactic acid fermentation in your muscles. You know, when you exercise so hard you can't get enough oxygen, your cells switch to this process. It produces a little bit of ATP to keep you going, but it also produces the lactic acid that causes that famous muscle burn.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. Let's step back from our tour of all the organelles and assembly lines and just reflect on what we've seen. Because it's really easy to get lost in the details, but the big picture here is truly, truly staggering.
Look, this isn't science fiction. This is the fundamental reality of how life is put together. Each and every one of your cells is a masterpiece of engineering, a tiny, self-sustaining city that is, at this very moment, working in perfect harmony with trillions of other cell cities just like it to create you.
So you see, this complex, energetic, and impossibly intricate city isn't in some far-off place. It is the very foundation of you. Every single thought you have, every move you make, it's all powered by these trillions of tiny metropolises. So the real question is, knowing all of this is happening inside you, right now, what are you going to do with all that energy?